In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the Galactic Empire reigned supreme. With advanced technology and an insatiable hunger for conquest, they had subjugated countless civilizations across the stars. Led by the ruthless Emperor Zin, the Empire seemed unstoppable. Deep within the Empire's central command, a peculiar signal caught the attention of the scientists. It emanated from an uncharted planet on the fringes of known space, a world the Empire's databases designated as Earth. Intrigued by the unusual energy readings, Emperor Zin summoned his most trusted admiral, Zoran Varick. Admiral Varick, the Emperor's voice boomed through the command center. I want you to investigate this Earth. If it holds any value, claim it for the Empire. If not, destroy it. Admiral Varick, a battle-hardened veteran, bowed his head in obedience. As you command, Your Majesty. The Admiral assembled a formidable fleet, spearheaded by his flagship, the Indomitable. The massive vessel, a testament to the Empire's might, bristled with advanced weaponry and shielding. As the fleet set course for Earth, Admiral Varick couldn't help but scoff at the primitive world they were tasked with investigating. From orbit, Earth appeared to be a backwater planet, its inhabitants blissfully unaware of the galactic civilization that thrived beyond their atmosphere. The planet's surface was a vibrant mix of blues and greens, with sprawling oceans and lush landmasses. To the Empire, it was just another conquest waiting to happen. Scan the planet for any signs of advanced technology. Admiral Varick ordered his bridge crew. I want to know what we're dealing with. As the Indomitable's sensors probed Earth, the results were disappointing. The planet's technological level was vastly inferior to the Empire's, with no indication of spacefaring capabilities. The human race, as they called themselves, seemed to be divided into various nations and factions, their primitive weapons posing no threat to the Empire's superior might. Admiral Varick smiled coldly. Prepare the fleet for orbital bombardment. We'll bring these humans to their knees and claim their world for the Empire. However, as the Imperial fleet positioned itself above Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. A small group of vessels, previously undetected, emerged from the planet's surface. These ships were unlike anything the Empire had encountered before, sleek, agile, and emanating an energy signature that defied conventional scanners. The bridge of the Indomitable erupted into chaos as the crew scrambled to assess the new threat. Admiral, a young officer called out, "The human ships, they're approaching us at incredible speeds." Admiral Varick's brow furrowed. How could a primitive species possess such advanced propulsion technology? He had underestimated these humans, a mistake he vowed not to repeat. All ships, raise shields and prepare for battle, the Admiral commanded, his voice booming through the fleet's communication channels. These humans will learn the consequences of defying the Galactic Empire. As the Imperial fleet braced for impact, the human ships closed in, their intentions unclear. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Little did Admiral Varick know, the humans were far more than they appeared, and the Empire was about to face a challenge unlike any they had encountered before. As the human ships approached the Imperial fleet, Admiral Varick's confidence began to waver. The vessels, though smaller in size compared to the Indomitable, moved with a grace and precision that seemed impossible for a civilization so technologically inferior. On the bridge of the flagship, the crew worked frantically to assess the situation. "Admiral, the human ships are emitting an unknown energy signature," a science officer reported, her voice laced with concern. "Our scanners can't lock onto them." Admiral Varick's eyes narrowed as he watched the view screen. The human vessels darted around the Imperial fleet like ghostly apparitions, their movements unpredictable and erratic. "Impossible," he muttered under his breath. Suddenly, a voice crackled through the communication channels, filling the bridge with its commanding presence. "Attention, Galactic Empire. This is Captain Nora Vance of the Earth Defense Fleet. You have entered our space without permission. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Admiral Varric bristled at the audacity of the human captain. How dare they issue demands to the mighty Galactic Empire? Captain Vance, he responded, his voice dripping with contempt. You are in no position to make threats. Surrender now, and your world may be spared. A moment of silence hung in the air before Captain Vance's reply came, her tone unwavering. We will not surrender, Admiral. Earth stands united against any threat to our freedom. Leave now, or we will be forced to defend ourselves. The Admiral's anger boiled over. Enough, he bellowed. All ships, open fire. Teach these primitives the folly of their defiance. The Imperial fleet unleashed a barrage of laser fire and missiles, expecting to swiftly overwhelm the human ships. However, what followed left the crews of the Empire's vessels in stunned disbelief. The human ships, with their advanced cloaking technology, vanished from sight, rendering the Empire's targeting systems useless. They reappeared behind the Imperial formation, striking with surgical precision. Their weapons, unlike anything the Empire had encountered, bypassed shields and struck critical systems, disabling several smaller vessels in mere moments. On the Indomitable, alarms blared as the ship shuddered under the impact of the human weapons. Shields down to 60%. A crewman shouted over the chaos. We can't track their movements. Admiral Varric gripped the armrests of his chair, his knuckles turning white. This was impossible. No civilization had ever posed such a challenge to the Empire's military might. Concentrate fire on their last known positions, he ordered, desperation creeping into his voice. As the battle raged on, it became increasingly clear that the humans were not the primitive species the Empire had initially believed them to be. Their ships danced through the void, evading the Empire's attacks with uncanny agility, while striking back with devastating accuracy. On the surface of Earth, Commander Elias Cade watched the unfolding battle from the command center of the Earth Defense Force. A seasoned strategist, he had long anticipated the possibility of an alien invasion and had worked tirelessly to prepare humanity's defenses. Captain Vance, status report, Commander Cade requested, his eyes fixed on the holographic display of the battle above Earth. The Imperial fleet is in disarray, Captain Vance responded, a hint of pride in her voice. Their ships are struggling to adapt to our cloaking technology and precision strikes. We're holding our own, but their flagship remains a significant threat. Commander Cade nodded, his mind racing with calculations and contingencies. Earth's survival hinged on the outcome of this battle, and he would stop at nothing to ensure the safety of his people. As the Imperial fleet reeled from the surprising onslaught of the human ships, Admiral Varric realized that he had gravely underestimated Earth's capabilities. The Empire's arrogance had blinded them to the potential threat that this unassuming planet posed. The battle for Earth had only just begun, and the outcome would determine the fate of not only the human race, but the balance of power in the galaxy itself. The Galactic Empire had finally met a civilization that refused to bend to their will, and the repercussions of this encounter would echo across the stars. In the aftermath of the initial clash, Admiral Zoran Varric seethed with anger and humiliation. The Galactic Empire, the force that had conquered countless worlds, was being held at bay by a species they had deemed inferior. The very notion was unthinkable, a blow to the Empire's pride and reputation. Unacceptable, Admiral Varric roared, slamming his fist on the armrest of his command chair. I will not allow these humans to make a mockery of the Empire. All ships, regroup and prepare for a full-scale assault. The Imperial fleet, battered but far from defeated, rallied around the Indomitable. The ships rearranged themselves into a formidable attack formation, their weapon systems primed and ready. Admiral Varric's eyes blazed with determination, his wounded pride fueling a burning desire for vengeance. Target their cities, their infrastructure, he commanded, his voice cold and ruthless. We will bring them to their knees and show them the true might of the Galactic Empire. As the Imperial ships began their renewed offensive, Earth's defense fleet moved to intercept. Captain Nora Vance, aboard her flagship, the Resolute, coordinated the human forces with unwavering focus. All ships, engage cloaking devices and prepare for counterattack, she ordered, her voice steady and determined. We must protect Earth at all costs. The human vessels shimmered and vanished from sight, their cloaking technology rendering them invisible to the Empire's sensors. They wove through the Imperial formation, striking at critical systems and weaknesses with surgical precision. On the surface of Earth, Commander Elias Cade monitored the battle from the command center, his brow furrowed in concentration. He knew that the Empire's fury would be unrelenting, and Earth's survival depended on the strength and resilience of its defenders. Captain Vance, we're detecting a massive energy buildup from the Imperial flagship, Commander Cade reported, urgency in his voice. They're preparing to unleash a devastating weapon. Understood, Commander, Captain Vance replied, her resolve unwavering. All ships, concentrate fire on the Indomitable. We must neutralize that weapon before it can be deployed. The human fleet converged on the Imperial flagship, their cloaked ships darting through the barrage of enemy fire. The Resolute led the charge, its advanced shields absorbing the brunt of the Indomitable's assault. As the battle intensified, the true extent of Earth's technological prowess became apparent. The human ships employed a combination of cloaking, precise targeting, and innovative weaponry that the Empire had never encountered before. The once invincible Imperial fleet found itself on the defensive, struggling to adapt to the unconventional tactics of their human adversaries. Admiral Varric, his face contorted with rage, refused to yield. Redirect all power to the main cannon, he bellowed. We will obliterate their fleet and their planet in one fell swoop. The Indomitable's main cannon, a weapon capable of devastating entire continents, began to glow with an ominous energy. The Imperial crew worked frantically to charge the weapon, their determination fueled by the Admiral's unyielding resolve. As the cannon prepared to fire, Captain Vance made a crucial decision. All ships, concentrate your fire on the Indomitable's main cannon. We must disable it before it can unleash its destructive power. The human fleet focused their attacks on the Imperial flagship, their weapons striking the cannon's power systems with pinpoint accuracy. The Resolute, supported by its cloaked allies, unleashed a relentless barrage, pushing its shields and weapons to their limits. In a blinding flash of light and a deafening explosion, the Indomitable's main cannon overloaded and exploded, ripping through the ship's hull and sending shockwaves through the surrounding space. The once mighty flagship, the symbol of the Empire's power, was crippled and adrift, its crew scrambling to contain the damage. Admiral Varric, battered and bruised, stared at the viewscreen in disbelief. The Empire, the unstoppable force that had subjugated countless civilizations, had been brought to its knees by a species they had underestimated. The realization was a bitter pill to swallow, but the Admiral's resolve remained unbroken. As the Imperial fleet regrouped, licking their wounds and reassessing their strategy, Earth's defenders celebrated a hard-fought victory. However, they knew that this was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire's pride had been wounded, and they would stop at nothing to avenge their defeat and assert their dominance. The battle for Earth had reached a critical juncture, and the fate of the planet hung in the balance. The resilience and ingenuity of humanity would be tested like never before as they prepared to face the full might of an empire determined to crush their resistance. The war for survival had only just begun, and the future of Earth and the galaxy itself rested on the shoulders of its brave defenders. In the aftermath of the devastating battle, the Indomitable limped back to the Galactic Empire's central command, its once pristine hull marred by scars and burns. Admiral Zoran Varric, his pride battered but his determination unshaken, sought answers to the unexpected power displayed by the humans. Amidst the chaos of repair crews and frantic reports, a young engineer named Lieutenant Aria Jax caught the Admiral's attention. She had been analyzing the data collected during the battle, and her findings were as intriguing as they were alarming. Admiral Varric, Lieutenant Jax said, her voice filled with a mix of excitement and concern. I've discovered something extraordinary about the human ships. The admiral, his brow furrowed, motioned for her to continue. Go on, Lieutenant. What have you found? Arya brought up a holographic display, showcasing the energy signatures of the human vessels. Their technology, sir, it's not just advanced, it's ancient. Admiral Varric's eyes narrowed. Ancient? What do you mean? The energy signatures, the cloaking devices, the weapons systems, they bear a striking resemblance to the technology of the progenitors. A hush fell over the command center. The progenitors, an ancient alien civilization that had vanished eons ago, were the stuff of legend. Their technology was said to be unparalleled, and the mere mention of their name was enough to send ripples of awe and fear through the galaxy. That's impossible, Admiral Varric scoffed. The progenitors are a myth, a story told to children. How could a primitive species like humans possess their technology? Lieutenant Jax shook her head. I don't know, sir, but the evidence is clear. The humans have somehow acquired or reverse-engineered progenitor technology. It's the only explanation for their sudden leap in capabilities. The Admiral pondered this revelation, his mind racing with the implications. If the humans truly possessed progenitor technology, it could shift the balance of power in the galaxy. The Empire's dominance would be challenged, and the very foundations of their rule could crumble. We must study this technology, Lieutenant Jax urged. If we can understand it, harness it for ourselves, the Empire would be unstoppable. Admiral Varric's eyes gleamed with a mix of ambition and fear. The prospect of wielding the power of the progenitors was tantalizing, but the risks were equally great. The humans had already proven themselves to be formidable adversaries, and if they continued to leverage this ancient technology, the Empire's victory was far from certain. No, the Admiral declared, his voice stern. Our priority is to crush the human resistance. We cannot afford to waste time chasing legends and myths. Lieutenant Jax's face fell, her enthusiasm dampened by the Admiral's dismissal. But sir, this could change everything. If we could just... Enough. Admiral Varric snapped, his patience wearing thin. We will proceed as planned. The Empire's might will prevail, with or without the progenitor's technology. As the Admiral strode away, his mind consumed by thoughts of vengeance and conquest, Lieutenant Jax was left alone with her findings. She knew in her heart that the key to victory lay in understanding the secrets of the ancient civilization. If the Empire was too blind to see the opportunity before them, perhaps it was up to her to unravel the mystery. Light years away on the surface of Earth, Commander Elias Cade and Captain Nora Vance were locked in a tense meeting. The victory against the Imperial fleet had bought them time, but they knew it was only a matter of time before the Empire struck again. We need to understand the full extent of the progenitor technology, Commander Cade insisted, his eyes filled with determination. It's our only hope of standing against the Empire. Captain Vance nodded, her face etched with concern. But the knowledge of the progenitors is scattered, hidden in ancient ruins and lost archives. It will take time to piece together the puzzle. Time is a luxury we don't have. Commander Cade replied grimly. The Empire will not rest until they have conquered Earth and stamped out our resistance. As the two leaders grappled with the challenges ahead, they knew that the fate of Earth and the galaxy itself hung in the balance. The secrets of the progenitors, long buried and forgotten, held the key to their survival. But uncovering those secrets would be a race against time, a desperate gamble in the face of an implacable foe. The stage was set for a battle of wits and wills, as the humans and the Empire sought to unravel the mysteries of the past and shape the future of the galaxy. The progenitor's legacy, once lost to the ages, now held the power to tip the scales of destiny. And in the midst of it all, the resilience and determination of humanity would be put to the ultimate test. As the Galactic Empire regrouped and prepared for another assault, the defenders of Earth knew they were racing against time. The human fleet, outnumbered and outgunned, needed a decisive victory to turn the tide of the war. Commander Elias Cade and Captain Nora Vance, having pored over ancient texts and decoded fragments of progenitor knowledge, devised a daring plan. They would lure the Imperial ships into a carefully laid trap, using the very technology the Empire sought to destroy. "It's a risky gambit," Captain Vance admitted, her eyes locked on the holographic display of the battlefield. "But if we can get the Empire to commit their forces, we might have a chance." Commander Cade nodded grimly. "We have no choice. The progenitor technology is our only hope of evening the odds." The human fleet, guided by the strategic brilliance of their leaders, set their plan into motion. They feigned a retreat, drawing the Imperial ships deeper into the solar system. Admiral Zoran Varric, his pride still stinging from the previous defeat, took the bait. "They're running scared," the Admiral sneered, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. "All ships pursue and destroy. Let's finish this once and for all." As the Imperial fleet chased after the human ships, they found themselves drawn into a dense field of asteroids. The human vessels, their cloaking devices engaged, wove through the treacherous terrain with uncanny precision. Suddenly, the asteroids came to life, revealing hidden progenitor weapons platforms. The ancient technology, long dormant, hummed with power as it locked onto the Imperial ships. "Now," Commander Cade ordered, his voice ringing through the comm channels. The progenitor weapons unleashed a barrage of energy beams, cutting through the Imperial shields like a hot knife through butter. The Empire's ships, caught off guard and unable to maneuver in the tight confines of the asteroid field, found themselves at the mercy of the ancient technology. Admiral Varric, his face contorted with rage and disbelief, watched helplessly as his fleet was decimated. The indomitable, still bearing the scars of the previous battle, shuddered under the onslaught. "Impossible," the Admiral roared, his fists clenched. How could they have hidden such power? As the Imperial ships struggled to regroup and mount a counterattack, the human fleet seized the moment. Captain Vance led a daring assault, her ships darting through the chaos and striking at the Empire's vulnerabilities. The tide of the battle shifted, the once invincible Imperial fleet now on the defensive. The human ships, empowered by the progenitor technology and guided by the tactical genius of their leaders, pressed their advantage. In the midst of the fray, Lieutenant Area Jax, still haunted by the implications of the progenitor technology, made a fateful decision. She couldn't stand by and watch the Empire's arrogance lead to their downfall. With a heavy heart, she abandoned her post and commandeered a small shuttle, determined to warn the humans of the greater threat that loomed on the horizon. As the battle raged on, the indomitable, its hull breached and its systems failing, began to break apart. Admiral Varric, his once proud flagship now a flaming wreck, realized the bitter truth. The Empire had underestimated the humans, and it had cost them dearly. With the Imperial fleet in disarray and the human ships pressing their attack, Admiral Varric made a desperate call. "Retreat," he commanded, his voice strained with anger and humiliation. "All ships, fall back to the rendezvous point. We need reinforcements." The remnants of the Imperial fleet, battered and beaten, limped away from the battlefield, leaving the humans victorious. The progenitor weapons had proven their worth, and the Empire had learned a harsh lesson in the folly of underestimating their adversaries. As the dust settled and the human ships regrouped, Commander Cade and Captain Vance knew that this was only the beginning. The Empire would not take this defeat lightly, and they would come back with a vengeance. But for now, Earth had earned a reprieve. The secrets of the progenitors had given them a fighting chance, and the resilience and ingenuity of humanity had shone through in their darkest hour. The war was far from over, but the tide had turned. The Galactic Empire, once thought to be invincible, had been humbled by a species they had dismissed as primitive, and in the depths of space, an ancient legacy stirred, its power and secrets waiting to be unlocked by those brave enough to seek them. In the heart of the Galactic Empire, Emperor Zin sat upon his throne, his eyes smoldering with rage as he listened to Admiral Zoran Varick's report of the devastating defeat at the hands of the humans. The news of the progenitor technology and the Empire's humiliation had spread like wildfire, and the Emperor knew he had to act swiftly and decisively. "You have failed me, Admiral." Emperor Zin's voice was cold and menacing. "The Empire's reputation is at stake. I will not tolerate such incompetence." Admiral Varick, his head bowed in shame, stammered his apologies. "My lord, the humans, they possess technology beyond our understanding. We were caught off guard." "Excuses," the Emperor roared, his fist slamming down on the armrest of his throne. "I will deal with this matter myself. Prepare the Imperial fleet. We will crush Earth and its defenders once and for all." As the Empire mobilized its forces, a sense of dread hung over the galaxy. The full might of the Galactic Empire, led by Emperor Zin himself, was a terrifying prospect. Countless civilizations had fallen before the Emperor's wrath, and Earth seemed destined to join their ranks. On Earth, Commander Elias Cade and Captain Nora Vance received the grim news of the Emperor's impending arrival. They knew that even with the progenitor technology, they were vastly outmatched by the sheer size and power of the Imperial fleet. In a desperate gamble, Captain Vance proposed a daring plan. "We need to negotiate," she said, her voice firm with determination. "If we can convince the Emperor to see reason, to understand the potential of the progenitor technology, we might be able to avoid all-out war." Commander Cade, skeptical but seeing no other option, reluctantly agreed. "It's a long shot, but we have to try. The fate of Earth and the galaxy hangs in the balance." As the Imperial fleet approached Earth, a small delegation led by Captain Vance and Commander Cade set out to meet with Emperor Zin. They knew they were walking into the lion's den, but the alternative was certain destruction. The meeting took place aboard the Emperor's flagship, a colossal vessel that dwarfed even the indomitable. The human delegation was escorted to the throne room, where Emperor Zin awaited them, his presence radiating an aura of power and menace. "Emperor Zin," Captain Vance began, her voice steady despite the overwhelming odds, "we come to you in the spirit of diplomacy. The progenitor technology holds the key to unlocking knowledge and advancement for all species. Let us work together, share our discoveries, and usher in a new era of peace and prosperity." The Emperor's laughter echoed through the throne room, cold and mocking. "You dare to lecture me about peace and prosperity? The Empire's rule is absolute. Your defiance has only sealed your fate." Commander Cade stepped forward, his eyes meeting the Emperor's gaze unflinchingly. "Your Majesty, the humans have proven their resilience and ingenuity. Imagine what we could achieve if we combined our strengths, if we learned from each other. The progenitor technology could benefit the entire galaxy, not just one species." Emperor Zin's eyes narrowed, his patience wearing thin. "Enough. The Empire does not negotiate with primitives. You will surrender the progenitor technology and submit to our rule, or you will be annihilated." As tensions reached a breaking point, the doors to the throne room burst open, and Lieutenant Arya Jack strode in, flanked by a group of Imperial guards. The Emperor's gaze snapped to her, surprise and anger flashing across his face. "My lord," Arya spoke, her voice trembling but determined, "I have seen the power of the progenitor technology firsthand. The humans are not our enemies. They are our potential allies. If we continue down this path of war and destruction, we risk losing everything." The Emperor's eyes blazed with fury. "Traitor, you dare to defy me. Guards, seize her." As the guards moved to apprehend Arya, Commander Cade and Captain Vance exchanged a glance, realizing that the fate of Earth and the galaxy hung in the balance. The time for diplomacy had passed, and the future would be decided by the choices made in this pivotal moment. The stage was set for a final confrontation, as the humans and their unlikely ally faced off against the Emperor and the full might of the Galactic Empire. The secrets of the progenitors, the resilience of humanity, and the fate of countless worlds would collide in a battle that would shape the destiny of the galaxy itself. In the throne room of the Imperial flagship, tension soared as Emperor Zin's fury bore down upon Lieutenant Area Jax and the human delegation. The fate of Earth and the galaxy hung in the balance, and the next few moments would determine the course of history. As the Imperial guards closed in on Area, she stood her ground, her voice ringing with conviction. "My lord, I have seen the potential of the progenitor technology. It holds the key to unlocking knowledge and advancement for all species. The humans are not our enemies. They are our opportunity for growth and understanding." Emperor Zin's eyes narrowed, his anger tempered by a flicker of curiosity. "You would betray the Empire for these primitives. Explain yourself, Lieutenant." Area took a deep breath, her gaze meeting the Emperor's unflinchingly. "Your Majesty, the progenitors left behind a legacy of innovation and discovery. By working with the humans, by combining our strengths, we can unlock the secrets of the ancients and usher in a new era of prosperity for the galaxy." Commander Elias Cade stepped forward, his voice steady and resolute. "Emperor Zin, we come to you not as conquerors, but as partners. The humans have proven their resilience and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. Imagine what we could achieve together if we set aside our differences and embraced the path of cooperation." The Emperor's gaze shifted between Area and the human delegation, his mind grappling with the implications of their words. For a long moment, the only sound in the throne room was the hum of the ship's engines and the tense breathing of those present. Finally, Emperor Zin spoke, his voice measured and calculating. "You present a compelling argument, Lieutenant Jax. And you, Commander Cade, your words carry weight, but the Empire's dominance cannot be so easily cast aside." Captain Nora Vance, sensing an opening, seized the moment. "Your Majesty, the progenitor technology is not a threat to the Empire's rule, but an opportunity to strengthen it. By embracing the knowledge of the ancients, by forging an alliance with the humans, the Empire can become a beacon of progress and enlightenment for the entire galaxy." The Emperor's eyes glinted with a mix of ambition and contemplation. The prospect of harnessing the progenitor technology, of elevating the Empire to new heights of power and influence, was tantalizing. And yet, the idea of allying with a species once deemed primitive and inferior was a bitter pill to swallow. In that moment of hesitation, a new voice emerged from the shadows. It was the voice of the ship's eye, a presence that had silently observed the unfolding events. "Emperor Zin, if I may offer an analysis. The data suggests that an alliance with the humans, combined with the utilization of progenitor technology, would significantly increase the Empire's chances of withstanding the impending extragalactic threat." A hush fell over the throne room as the weight of the AI's words sank in. The Emperor's eyes widened, his mind racing with the implications. "Extragalactic threat. Explain." The AI's voice echoed through the room, calm and precise. "Long-range sensors have detected the approach of a massive fleet from beyond the galaxy's borders. Their technology is advanced, and their intentions are unknown. Alone, the Empire's chances of survival are calculated at 27.6%. However, with the progenitor technology and the humans as allies, those chances increase to 68.9%. Emperor Zin's face was a mask of concentration, his mind weighing the options before him. The Empire's pride and the weight of centuries of conquest pulled him in one direction, while the undeniable logic of the AI's analysis tugged him in another. In that moment, the Emperor made a decision that would reverberate through the ages. "Very well," he said, his voice tinged with a mix of resignation and determination. "The Empire will forge an alliance with the humans. Together, we will unlock the secrets of the progenitors and face this extragalactic threat as one." The throne room erupted in a mix of shock and elation. The human delegation, their faces etched with relief and hope, exchanged glances of triumph. Area, her heart swelling with a sense of purpose, bowed her head in gratitude. And so, in that historic moment, an unprecedented alliance was born. The Galactic Empire and the humans, once bitter enemies, now stood united in the face of a common foe. The secrets of the progenitors, the resilience of humanity, and the might of the Empire would be brought to bear against the oncoming storm. As the Imperial flagship set course for Earth, the galaxy held its breath. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The alliance between the Empire and the humans had changed the course of history. Together, they would face the challenges that lay ahead, their strengths combined, and their differences set aside in the name of survival and progress. The war for the galaxy had taken an unexpected turn, and the legacy of the progenitors would shape the destiny of all the civilizations that called the stars their home. The alliance between the Empire and the humans was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of understanding and cooperation in the face of adversity. And as the Imperial fleet and the human ships sailed side by side, their crews working together to unlock the secrets of the ancients, a new chapter in the history of the galaxy began to unfold. The future was unwritten, but one thing was certain. The alliance forged in the crucible of conflict would forever change the course of the universe.